Hello, my name is Sam, and I'm going to be going over on-page SEO for landscaping and lawn care companies. So this is going to help you rank higher on Google, rank more often on Google for more keywords that people might be searching related to your business. It's going to help you look more professional in the eyes of potential website visitors or just website visitors in general. That will let you charge higher prices. It'll let clients respect the prices that you charge a lot more. It'll even help with hiring employees, making employees, when you look more professional online, employees will treat you as a more professional employer. I'm going to help solve a lot of problems, and of course it'll get you more leads. But this video, I'll just go over. I have 8 steps, not 7 steps. 8 steps, basically just going over exactly what you need to do in order to kind of solve these problems and rank higher on Google. So I'll share this document with you. I'll just put it in the description if you want to download it and kind of follow with me. And it kind of explains how to do these steps on words, but I'm just going to go through it also in video here. Starting with step 1, you want to make sure that your titles are all SEO optimized, your meta titles. So for example, let me just pull this up real quick. If I look up landscaping in Naperville, right, Naperville, Illinois, look at landscaping in Naperville. Number 1 page that's ranking, organic page that's ranking, is titled Where Landscaping and Snow Removal. Number 2 is Glen Lawn and Landscape, Elite Landscape Group, Landscaping Naperville. You notice that all of them have something in common, and that's that they have landscaping or landscape in the keyword itself or in the meta title. And these are meta titles right here. You want to make sure that when you're writing your meta titles that you have the same keywords that people might be searching that would be related to that page. So for your home page, for most of you guys, it would probably be lawn care and landscaping in your area. So for example, if you had a landscaping and lawn care company, I would recommend that you just title your home page lawn care and landscaping in Naperville, and then have the little dash here, and then have your brand name. If your brand name is, say, Sam's Landscaping and Lawn Care, then you could usually just get away with just putting your brand name, Sam's Landscaping and Lawn Care, and then say Sam's Landscaping and Lawn Care in Naperville, Illinois. As long as the keywords that you're trying to rank for are in the meta title, you can test out different things to see what works better, but as long as you have that, it's good enough. Like that's better than what a lot of people do. For example, if this was just called, like a lot of times when you set up a website and you have your home page, it'll just be called home. So the meta title will just be called home as well. So if this was called home and then just said Naperville, whatever, it was just called home, that's not going to rank on Google, right? No one, that would be trying to rank for the keyword home page of your website, right? No one's looking that up. People are looking up landscaping in Naperville. And if you have landscaping in Naperville listed inside of the meta title, it's going to have a lot higher likely chance that it's going to rank in Google. When it comes to the specifics of how to do this, if you're on WordPress, you can download Rank Math. You can follow the instructions with Rank Math. Otherwise, if you're using anything else or if you have any issues, go to ChatGPT. Just look up ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT how to, whatever your specific issue might be. So if you're on GoDaddy, hey, how can I add SEO meta titles for on GoDaddy for my website? Ask that to ChatGPT. It'll tell you how to do it. There's a lot of kind of specifics that I'm not going to tell you in this, just to make sure that this video doesn't go like 100 minutes long, right? When it comes to specifics, if you have any questions or you need to go more in depth and whatever it might be, go to ChatGPT and just explain your issue to ChatGPT. It'll help you solve your specific issue. So after you've done that, you've created an SEO optimized meta title. You want to do that for every page you make, but start with your home page. Moving on, you want to make sure that you have pages for every keyword that people might be searching Google for when that relates to your business. So, for example, most of you are probably doing landscaping and lawn care. If you're just doing landscaping or just doing hardscaping, whatever, then it might be different. But here is the list of every single bullet point I have here deserves its own page. This is a list of, you can use a tool to find all the keywords. I use a tool, and I also been doing this for a little while, so I know the keywords that rank for landscaping and lawn care. Listed them all right here. So if you go through here, And obviously, don't do every single one because a lot of these won't relate to your business. But if one of these bullet points relates to your business, make a separate page for it. So generally, for most of you, your home page, you're going to want to title it landscaping and lawn care in your area. And then in addition to that, even if you do have landscaping and lawn care as a keyword, another keyword, because these are such highly searched keywords, you want to also make a page specifically only about landscaping. And within the landscape specific page, the content in itself talk only about landscaping and the landscaping services you do. So here's kind of some more keywords you should have in the landscaping page. These aren't keywords that you should have separate pages for. These are just keywords that should be inside the landscaping page. We talk about landscape design, hardscaping, outdoor living, softscaping. Obviously, if you don't do any of these things, don't talk about it. But if you do, list these in the landscaping page. You also want to have a lawn care page too, and list these things inside the lawn care page too. And sometimes, even though you should list lawn mowing inside the lawn care page, you should also have your own separate page for lawn mowing as well. So this would be listed kind of like this. So you'd have your home page, then you'd have a service drop down. And then, so for example, here's kind of a client I've been working with. We have a few service pages of services that he does. So you can see his homepage is titled Lawn Care and Landscaping, or his name actually has lawn care and landscaping in it. So his homepage or his primary objective is to rank for lawn care and landscaping. And then, but we've also included a lawn care page. We included a landscape design page because he's already ranking well. Well, in your instance, just make it landscaping. So you would make a lawn care page, a landscape page, lawn mowing, snow removal, mulching, retaining wall, fertilization, and weed control, and lawn aeration. You could split these up if you want to. If you just do a fertilization page and you could just call it fertilization and then put weed control in the content. You don't have to say weed control in the main page. But you'd want to basically do that for any of these bullet points listed that relate to your service and make a service page for it. And then when it comes to the area that you should be ranking the service page for, because you don't want to just say mulching service, right? That's not going to rank on Google. You need to say mulching service or mulching service serving a specific location, right? You want to make sure you do that for all of these. So, for example, if I were to make a page for mulching and my location was Boulder, Colorado, I would make the page I would title the page mulching service in Boulder, right? You don't want to just title it mulching service because that's not going to rank. Make sure it's mulching service in Boulder. So here's an example of the page. I blurred a lot of it out for privacy reasons, but basically, mulching service in, put your location, write some content here. This would be like the hero section of the page. And then it kind of goes down. You can kind of see a little bit of a glimpse of like what we've done there. But this is also important. If your primary location isn't very populated. So, for example, if you're like ranking for a page and it's mulching service in the area, there's just not many people that live there. I say under 80,000. That changes depending on the situation, but just a rough guideline. If it's under 80,000 people, I would generally recommend to actually just include 2 service locations that are nearby. So, for example, if we were going to do Boulder, and we were going to do 2 locations, a location that's close to Boulder that has a decent amount of people that live in it is Longmont right here. So I would say I would call this page mulching service in Boulder and Longmont. However, if your area has over 80,000 people, such as like Denver, right, or even Lakewood or Aurora, right, all these areas that have a lot of they'd have a lot of people that live in them. They have a lot of competition from other landscaping and lawn care companies trying to rank in them. Just include one service location. Just say mulching service in that location, right? Because the more locations you add, the less likely you are to rank for one of them, right? You can when it's a smaller, less competitive search phrase. You want to include 2 just because there's not that much other competition and it doesn't really matter that much. But when it's one big area that's competitive, you want to just include 1 because it's going to increase your chance that you're actually going to rank for that one. And if you include 2, you're probably not going to rank for either of them. So that's important. Make sure you understand that. Now, inside the actual content of the page, you can include multiple locations. So, for example, if I made a mulching service in Denver, I could include areas we also serve, and then include like Boulder, Longmont, and then include every single area. So every single area that you serve. So if like this is your service area right here, this big circle I'm making right here, include and the primary your primary page, like maybe you're located in Boulder, but you serve all of this. So your primary page should just be called your service. So say like mulching in Boulder, or mulching in Boulder and Longmont. And then within the actual content of the page, you want to have a section that says areas we also serve. And then you want to include Superior, Louisville, Lafayette, Broomfield, Westminster, Arvada, right? All these other keywords, all of them. Try to get every single town that has more than like 3,000 people, right? You might as well just include them inside the content, because then the chances that you could rank for that area with that page, even though it doesn't have the specific area in the title, if it has it in the content, you at least have somewhat of a chance to rank for that area. So that's important. Make sure to do that within the content of the page. And then in addition to that, when it comes to trying to rank in each one of those areas, so say your website, your homepage is called Lawn Care and Landscaping in Boulder, or Lawn Care and Landscaping in Boulder and Longmont. You'd also want to make a page for each one of the areas that you're trying to rank for. So for example, you want to, this is kind of an example of a client we did. These are all areas near the areas that he serves. So if you want to rank for Lafayette, basically rewrite your homepage. Only do this for your homepage. Don't do it for all the service pages. Otherwise, like Google's gonna see this and just, okay, this is just a ton of spam content, and they're gonna de-index everything. Only do this for the homepage. But basically, rewrite the homepage. Make the content unique, at least 60% unique. Rewrite it. Either just spin the words. You can do it that way. It works. Or write new content that's specific to the area. So talk about projects in that specific area. Talk about unique things just about that specific area, and write a new page titled Lawn Care and Landscaping in Gun Barrel, in Nuwat, in Lafayette. So make all these separate pages of area pages, and then include that as a drop-down section on your menu. So for example, you have your service drop-down menu, which is all your service pages that we talked about earlier, and then you could have an areas drop-down of all the areas you do. So for example, here's a lot of area pages we made. And that would be a great idea. You'll start to rank higher for those specific areas. So when someone in Louisville here types in lawn care or types in landscaping, the chance that that Louisville specific page is going to rank #1 is way more likely than your main homepage, which is targeted to Boulder and Longmont, right? So do that. That's a great way to start spreading your web of your website and trying to get more leads on Google, ranking for more keywords, stuff like that. So it's a great idea. And then when it comes to actually writing the content, you can use ChatGPT to help you. So like kind of, if you go to ChatGPT, right? So I'm sure you guys have used ChatGPT before, or at least heard of it. If you go to ChatGPT, you can ask it, you can tell it like, hey, write me a homepage for my lawn care business titled Lawn Care in Denver, right? Like that's a very simple prompt that you could just ask it and it'll spit out a homepage. However, like when you're writing your content, you want to be a lot more specific when prompting ChatGPT. And here's kind of the things that you'd want to be specific about. So where was I? Make pages for each. Okay, this is step 4. So basically you'd want to this is what you'd want to write your content about. So the goal of each page is to write content that's useful, it's unique. Each page needs to be unique, but it's also, the content is useful for not only Google reading it, but also web visitors reading it. And to get a full understanding of what it is that you do, where it is you do it, and how you do it. So answer any possible questions people may have, give any related information someone may need to know. So on average, you want to write around 500 to 1500 words per page. For more competitive search phrases in areas like, for example, landscaping in Chicago, this can be very competitive, obviously. Google generally prefers more words when it's a more competitive search phrase. So if you know that you're trying to rank for a competitive keyword, try to go closer to 1,500 words. Sometimes you might even need 2,000, 2,500 words, depending on what the top ranking pages are. So, for example, if like the number one ranking page has like 3,000 words, try to write like 3,000 words for your page. But moving on from that, within the content, this is what you should be writing about. So you should explain the service. So for example, if it's mulching, just explain what it is you do, how you do the mulching service. Just explain everything about the mulching service and how it is you do it. Then explain how you do the service different than everyone else and how you're better than the competition. Then explain more about your company and how your company in general is better than the competition. Then show a slider basically of your Google reviews. So I'm sure you've seen this all the time on websites, but basically just like what other people say, or here's our review, something like that, and then just a slider of your Google reviews. Then I'll list all the areas you serve. So that's like this right here, areas we serve. And then also add a frequently asked questions section about basically any questions that someone may have about the specific service. So, for example, let's say I'm writing a page called lawn mowing. I'm writing a service page and it's called lawn mowing in Boulder, Colorado. Someone, frequently asked question that, I'm sure people are going to ask about that is how frequently should I get service? Or how frequently should I get my lawn mowed in Boulder, Colorado? And basically make a frequently asked questions section of the page, add that question as a frequently asked question, and then answer the question. So just say like, hey, in Boulder, Colorado during this season, so during the months of blank and blank, we recommend you get service or get your lawn mowed once every week. And we trim to about 3 inches to keep, the best lawn health, whatever it may be. Just answer the question. Do like 4 or 5. You could do like 6 of them if you wanted to, 10 of them. Just make frequently asked questions, answer them. And these could be frequently asked questions that you already know people are asking because they're asking you directly, or they're just stuff that you think of, or you could just ask ChatGPT to help me find frequently asked questions for the specific instance that you have. And then moving on from that, you could also add some more content of like specific tips. If maybe the service is something that you could do like at home, you could add like tips about how you could do it at home. You could talk about a lot of other things if you really need more words, but good way to get more words is just adding more frequently asked questions. But moving on from that, you want to also have a lot of interlinking and external linking inside your web pages. So what that basically means is inside your content, you'll have keywords that you'll want to rank, or you'll want to interlink that keyword to a different page on your website. So for example, if I have a mulching page, and inside the mulching page, I say something like, mulching is one of the many landscaping services we do at Sam's Landscaping. This keyword, landscaping services, you should create a link for that. So see where it's like blue right here? That would be like a link. You would create a link so that when someone clicks on landscaping services, it goes to your landscaping page. And you only want to do this, you don't want to overdo this, you only do it like 1 to 3 times per page. But when it comes to, if you have that keyword, you have like landscaping services, or if you also, for whatever reason, you said like lawn care, you'd want to link to your lawn care page, or whatever it may be, you want to make sure that you're interlinking at least like 1 to 3 times within the content. And that's very important to help it gives link juice and helps boost those specific pages that you interlink to. So make sure you're doing that at least 1 to 3 times. Like 1 to 3 times per page would be good. And then also when you do, another way to interlink, when you do make a page. So for example, on your homepage, you usually want to list out all the services you do. So on your homepage, you'll say something like, these are all the lawn care services we do, and then it's like mulching would probably be landscaping. Like all the lawn care services we do, and then be like lawn mowing, fertilization, blah 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 blah. Each one of those, like lawn mowing, you have a specific lawn mowing page. Link that lawn mowing bullet points to the lawn mowing page. Link the fertilization bullet points to the fertilization page. So if you're listing out all the services if you're ever listing out all the services in a page, make sure to interlink to those pages. And then also for the areas we service, you also want to interlink to those specific areas. So in your page, if you ever have like other areas we service, we also service these areas. A section like that, section like this, and I'm pointing to right now. We want to make sure that so for example, if this says West Bend, this says Kewaskum, Slinger. When we made those area specific pages, these pages, we want to interlink each one of those to their corresponding like bullet point or section here. So you want to link the West Bend to the West Bend page that we made, the Kewaskum to the Kewaskum page we made, and so on and so on. When you interlink the pages, it helps boost the ranking of the pages. So make sure you do that, and then this is kind of explaining it more. When it comes to external links are basically links from other websites. So you'd be linking out to a different website that's not your own website out on the internet. So usually for external links, I recommend also just doing about like one, maybe every 1,500 words, one, maybe two. You don't really want too many of these, but you want a few. And a good example of using an external link would be something like this. So say you have a lawn mowing page and you're just talking about whatever, and you have this in your page somewhere. It's recommended to mow most grass types during the growing season in Wisconsin once per week, down to a minimum of 3 inches in grass length. This ensures your lawn will stay the healthiest through the season. I should probably say throughout the season. But basically, wherever you got that source from, and if you just know it, then you might not need an external link for it. But if you want to try to have a few external links, wherever you got that source of information from, just include a little section that just says source and then link that source thing to that section. And when it comes to your sources, you want to make sure that you want to make sure that they're authoritative sources. So for example, you could use like college studies, other kind of scholarly studies, or you could just look up, you could look this up, try to find a link or try to find a source that would say something like this, and just use whatever website's ranking high. If it's ranking high, the chances are it's fairly authoritative anyways. So that's a good way to find sources. Otherwise, you could also ask ChatGPT to find sources for you. That is also a good way to do it. And you want to, like I said, you want to include that. You don't want to include too many external links, but every once in a while. Don't have to do it on every single page, but try to do it on like a few pages. It'll really help, especially on the pages where there's a lot of competition. So like your home page, the landscaping and lawn care page, you'd want to include at least one external link. And then moving on from that, is this step 5? I think I screwed up the steps. But whatever. I think this is step 6. Make sure that you have a professional looking modern web design. This is very important. So Google doesn't necessarily see your web design. They only like read the words and read all that kind of stuff. They don't necessarily see your web design, so it doesn't have a direct effect on your ranking at Google. But who do see it, obviously, are web visitors. So if someone goes to your page and they go to the website, they see it and they think it just looks like garbage, chances are they're going to X out of the page and go to a different landscaping page. When they do that, Google can actually see that. They know that it's called bouncing. They'll see that they bounced and went to a different page. And when that happens all the time, Google eventually will slowly rank your page lower and lower and lower. So to avoid that, you want to make sure that you do have a professional, modern-looking design. And there's also plenty of other benefits with having a modern, professional design, and that's when people see your website and it's professional, right? They're going to think that they're going to be more. There's a higher chance that they're going to fill out your contact form. There's a higher chance that when they do fill out your contact form and you contact them and you give them an estimate, that they're actually going to accept your price because they see you as a professional company because you have a professional web design. There's going to be a less likely chance that another company is going to come in and underbid you, right? Because if another company has a really, really shitty looking website and you have a really nice website, chances are you're going to be able to just charge higher prices, and there's going to be a lot lower chance that they're just going to be able to underbid you with a lower price. So there's plenty of reasons why you should have a really good professional looking, modern looking web design. Here's one that, this is just one that I did with a client. Again, I've basically blurred out a lot of it to make sure that, for privacy reasons. But you can look at this yourself. Okay, this is huge. What the heck? But yeah, you can see this background here is actually a video of like a shot of a job that he did right here in this section, the hero section. And if you kind of scroll through it, you can just see that it's a modern looking, sleek, professional design. People who see this, it just screams trustworthiness, screams professionalism, looks better than like 99% of landscaping websites. So you want to make sure that you have a design kind of similar to that. And obviously, when it comes to web design, you want to make sure that it's unique to your brand. You don't want to just copy this web design. Some people have specific things that they might be doing with their brand, like cartoon style or like a Western style. You want to make sure that that replicates with your web design. So don't just like copy this web design, right? Make sure it's your, do it your own way. Moving on. This kind of goes hand in hand with web design, but you also want to have very professional. It doesn't even have to be professional, but trustworthy photography and videography. So what I mean by this, never use stock images. Stock images will kill your professionalism and your trustworthiness online. Don't even use images that maybe even you took them or you had a photographer took them, but they look like stock images. Don't even use those, because people can sense stock images nowadays, right? When they go, they've seen every website looks the same now. It's always like stock image. This is what we do. Stock image. People don't even take the time to take pictures for their website. A lot of people don't, especially in the lawn care and landscaping business. Or they do, but it's not really a trustworthy looking picture and not really a professional and trustworthy looking picture. So instead, when you take images and you take photos or you take videos for your website, the best thing to do would basically be so you're like 99 or you're 90% done with the job. It looks beautiful, it looks great. You could just take a picture or a video of right when it's about to be done. You have your employee kind of finishing up. You have him sitting there with his company shirt on with his logo on the back. You take a picture of that. Right now, that is literally impossible for someone to think that's a stock image, because your employee is literally sitting there with a company shirt on, right? Or you could take a video of you just walking, right? You could use your phone to do this. It doesn't even have to be, even if it looks less professional than a stock image, it's still 100 times better because it's 100 times more trustworthy. So you could take a video with your phone. You could take a picture with your phone. Videos are better than pictures. However, you need both. So for example, like with this web design, I would recommend putting like a video in this section up here on the top. So like the hero section up there, putting a video there, and then pictures for like these sections and stuff. You want both. But doing that, whether it be a shirt with your company logo on, or like a truck in the background with your company logo, you want to try to get your logo somewhere. Try to get some kind of personalization and trustworthiness screaming through the images and the videography. And then in addition to that, this is something that I even like struggle with trying to get some of my clients to do, but it's such a good opportunity, is you want to make a video of you talking about your services. So not only do you want to write content talking about what makes you unique, what makes you different, all the services you do, blah 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 blah, you also want to make a video of you talking about that as well. And you could put that video right up on the homepage, right in the you have your hero section, which is kind of showing off the videos of your work, kind of like this. So you have, this one doesn't have a video on it, but so this would be like a hero section. This would be like videos of your work right here in the background, and then right here you could just have transform your lawn care with us, blah, 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 this. And you can have another section right here. And this is where you just put a video of, like, right here in the thumbnail of the video, just literally a picture of your face. And when people click on it, it's just you talking. Now that screams trustworthiness, right? Nothing screams trustworthiness more than that. And within the content of the video, obviously have your face, have you talking, talk about, again, the same kind of things. What makes you unique, why you're different than other landscaping and lawn care companies, all the services you do, where you do these services, your service areas. Just talk all about that stuff. And you could use, again, like you just use a phone. You could set a phone up somewhere and just talk to the camera. You could set up a camera and do it and put that on your website. Like, no other landscaping lawn care companies are doing this. Very few. So this is such a great way to stand out right now. Such a great way to stand out. And like I said before, when you're able to stand out with professionalism and trustworthiness, you're able to actually sell your brand and not just sell, a commodity, which would be the services you're doing. So you're not just selling lawn mowing, you're selling, Sam's landscaping lawn mowing, which is different because you are more trustworthy than the other companies in your area. This is a great way to do this. So film a video is a great idea. It also helps with SEO because less people are going to be clicking off your website. They're going to be filling out your contact form, and Google can kind of see that Google can reads the behavior of people on your website. And when you have a video, people are going to be clicking on the video. They're going to be on your page for longer. It's going to help with SEO. All right, so last but not least, this is just kind of an easy thing to do. Make sure your page loads fast. So go to this website, pagespeed.web.dev. I think it's Google's official page speed thing. Whatever. Just go on there, put your website URL in there. If it's like red, just flashing red everywhere, you need to speed up your website. One of the biggest things to look at is first contentful paint. If it's telling you that that's more than 2 seconds, that's bad. And make sure you speed up your website if that's the case. If you're on WordPress, you can use plugins like Speed Optimizer, this one, which is free. Or I use WP Rocket, which is paid and a little bit more advanced. So you can get WP Rocket if you want. If you're with GoDaddy or Wix, just talk to the support team. Tell them that you need your website to be faster. Have them fix it. Or just if you don't have any of those, or you don't want to talk to the support team, ask ChatGPT. Say, hey, I need to speed up my blank website. How do I do this? It'll tell you how to do it. But then moving on to that, if you want me to basically make a video of just me going over your current website, letting you know exactly what you need to do to fix it, whether it be these things or other SEO things or just other branding things in general. The main thing that I try to do is I just try to solve your branding problem. So that's getting more leads coming in, charging the prices you want to charge, not getting underbid by competitors, and just growing your brand and selling your brand and not just selling a commodity. That's the main thing that I focus on. If you want to solve that issue, if you want me to go over specifically your website, me talking about your website, click this link right here and just fill in whatever it looks like. Just fill in this form right here. You can watch this video too. It's kind of me just talking about it. But if you just go here and fill out the form right here with your name and your website, your email, it'll take me like a day, but I'll basically just go over it and tell you exactly what you need to do. And hopefully that helps. But otherwise, that pretty much goes over everything. You can download this doc in the description, or I'll put it, somewhere in the video in the top right corner, or is that top left corner, whatever the corner is. And I'll put it in the comment section as well. You can just download the Google Doc, and hopefully this helped. And hopefully, if you do want me to be more personalized and specific to you, go to oakwood.marketing, click on this link, and fill out that form, and I'll get that video sent over to you. Otherwise, I'll talk to you soon, hopefully.